Hello. Are you ready? Reddit, what's your best/funniest personal example of petty revenge? I once had a colleague I hated. He was very condescending and really arrogant, so I put an extra Bluetooth receiver in his computer for a computer mouse, and kept the mouse in my drawer. I would just open my drawer, and it would mess his shit right up. Kept it going for like 2 months. He was about to murder the world when I thought I better stop. Posted this previously. My ex cheated with a married man. He now lives with her. He is a piece of shit. But anyway, I still have the login for her DVR. I logged in, erased all her shows, then recorded only the show. Cheaters. Petty, but it makes me laugh. Edit, additional info. I also set the show to be manually erased and stopped recording 3 hours after the show's end time. Someone in my office would always crush lunches with his gigantic-ass lunchbox. Either he ate bricks or lead, I don't know, but I always came to the office fridge and found that my lunch was in pieces. So, after 3 bouts of this, and numerous notes from myself and other colleagues, I carefully removed his lunchbox, emptied the contents, a gigantic sandwich, a Twinkie, chips, some vegetable pieces, and a few other bits, and ran over them with my car. I carefully packed it back in, and put it back. He kept his lunch in a cooler by his cube from then on. Okay, this one is pretty gross. But growing up in a house of only girls, personal space does not exist. We used to bathe in front of each other, and even use the bathroom in front of each other. There are no boundaries. My younger sister was notorious for shaving in the tub and not rinsing it out when she was done. Pubes. Everywhere. One day she was taking a bath and I asked her to rinse when she was done, because I planned on taking a bath afterwards. She told me to fuck off. So I reached in my pants, snipped off a chunk of pubes, tossed them in the tub with her, and walked out. This happened a while back, study hall in 8th grade actually. I always brought 2 small sandwiches to school so I could have one at lunch and one in study hall, since our teacher let us eat in that class. One day as I was about to eat my sandwich, I get up to use the bathroom. As I walk back in the classroom, I see the kid in front of me eating my sandwich. I was pretty annoyed but nothing serious at this point, so I confront him politely and he denies it completely. I left my sandwich on my desk the next day just to make sure it was him, and what do you know, it is. So on the 3rd day, I hatched a plan. I put habanero cheese on my sandwich, and then doused it all in ghost pepper sauce. That shit was everywhere, but it luckily didn't smell spicy. I get to study hall and my plan works flawlessly. I leave my trapped sandwich on my desk and get up to use the restroom. This time I take as long as I can, and end up wandering the halls of the school. I did this because my study hall teacher was anal about the hall pass, and only one guy was allowed to leave the class at a time, even for water. After about 10 minutes I come back into the class to be greeted by the sandwich thief, crying hysterically with a bright red face waiting for the hall pass. He was in the bathroom for the rest of the day. A guy at work pissed me off. I placed this Craigslist ad with his phone number. 2 free goats. Hablas español. He spent the rest of the day getting calls every 15 minutes or so. When I was a kid I had a bedwetting problem. I am not ashamed of this now, as thousands of other kids have had the same problems. At the time however, this was humiliating. My younger brother started telling other kids around school how extensive the issue was. I was mortified. Even after our mother told him to knock it off, he continued. So I decided to level the playing field. The whole hand and cup of warm water deal didn't work. I stood over him as he slept one night and pissed on him. The next morning, my mom was horrified and wound up taking a call from my grandmother. I don't know what to do, now both of them are pissing the bed, she explained, clearly frustrated. After a few more times of framing my brother as a bedwetter he completely stopped using my embarrassing problem as entertainment. Speeding up a coworker's double-click speed, and watch him squirm when his normal double-clicking speed isn't working. Somebody once changed the mouse pointer on my chef's computer to the loading animation. We scratched our heads for a while before figuring it out. I have to admit, it was hilarious watching his mild irritation every day. Obligatory not me, but, this is a little long but one of my all-time favorites. In Texas, there is a law that allows the U.S. to take certain possessions to satisfy a debt owed, such as from a lawsuit. So this defendant had been committing Medicare fraud, got caught, has to pay back the money. He's also a total prick during the lawsuit, obstructionist, rude, etc. When the U.S. finally has its judgment, and he's pleading poverty, The U.S. attorney that ran the suit basically ends up walking through the impoverished guy's multi-million-dollar house to handpick what is going to be seized. He takes the big-ticket items that he's allowed, but it's not going to be enough, so then he just starts taking little shit to piss the guy off. Book half read on the nightstand? Gone. Can't take the garage, but you can take the garage door opener, so, gone. I don't know what else he took, but I think the idea is brilliant. The book would piss me off so much. Back in college, I was sitting in the library trying to work on an assignment. All was quiet for a while until this one obnoxious guy came in and sat at a table near me, and proceeded to pull out his phone and have the loudest, most obnoxious conversation with one of his friends. Lots of bro, seriously bro? And yada yada. I was about to pack up my things and find somewhere else to work, when the conversation turned to Netflix. The guy told his friend he should just use his account, and proceeded to loudly state his email address and password for all to hear. This was too good of an opportunity for me to pass up, so I promptly logged in and navigated to the LGBT section, and started adding the gayest movies I could find to the top of the queue. I like to think that both guys ended up thinking the other one added the movies to the queue, but were too shocked to ever say anything to each other. Kid stole my water bottle. I opened it up and left it inside his backpack. On every email I send, I attach my name, company, position, etc. All the time people will respond "Thank you Sarah." But my name is spelled with the H. I have started to reply to them, leaving off a letter of their name. No problem Renee. Have a good day John. They probably think I am an idiot, but it is worth it to me. Keep up the good work, Hara. We were sitting by a pool once, and a woman stood over my wife and started spraying sunscreen all over herself, and my wife. We asked her nicely to please move and she ignored us, and kept spraying. When we left, I took one of her flip-flops with me. We had a guy in our office take a crap in the bathroom every day after lunch, and it would stink up the whole office. The manager asked everyone who needed to vacate their bowels to please use the lobby bathroom since our office was small, and we only had the one bathroom. He didn't listen. Fortunately, he was like clockwork, so 5 minutes before he went in, I took all the toilet paper. That's right. I forced the man to live with a dirty ass. My wife is very picky about the mugs she has for different hot drinks, tall mugs for coffee, wide mugs for tea, dainty cups for fruit teas. When she's being irritating and asks for a cuppa she gets very plain, boring builder's mugs and I delight at the mild irritation it brings. The most British thing I've ever read. My sister posted a very anti-LGBT article on Facebook when the North Carolina bathroom bill was passed. She claimed she no longer felt safe shopping at Target, if she might be forced to use a bathroom with a trans person. The horror. So for her wedding the following month, I got her a Target gift card. XOXO. Your very gay brother, Heart. My mom had a fantastic one. She was a language teacher at my high school, and years after I had graduated, she called me kind of upset because a group of guys was trying to make her look dumb. The class was supposed to write one of those team dialogues in Spanish, and had a week or so to prepare it, then had to perform it in front of the class. When she called for them to do theirs, they said, "But we already did ours, we're not doing it again." She said, "You definitely didn't do it, I don't have any record of it here, and I would remember it if you had." They refused to do it, insisting they already performed it and that it was her fault she didn't take notes/scores down. She was feeling puzzled and questioning herself, when one of the good kids came and said, "They didn't do it, they were bragging about making you look stupid, and threatened the whole class if they told you anything. But please don't tell them I told you this, I don't want any problems with them." These were those stereotypical dumb jock types who everyone was scared of for whatever reason. My mom was really into yoga at the time and got a great idea while meditating. She went in the next day and said, "Boys, I owe you an apology. I found my notes on your presentation, and I do remember it, I don't know how I forgot." She went on to describe all the grammatical mistakes they made, that their dialogue hadn't been as long as required, that they didn't include the necessary vocabulary, etc. All made up. She failed them all on the project, and they couldn't do a thing about it without admitting they'd made it all up. Too long didn't read. My mom is awesome. When I was about 13, I was snooping around my older brother's room and found a stack of $20 bills stashed away. He was saving up from his high school job to buy a car. Hundreds of dollars. To 13-year-old me it was a fortune, And I figured he wouldn't notice if I stole just 120, still a lot of money to me. So I did. For years I would remember it every once in a while and feel guilty. The worst part was, when I took the 20, he was also a teenage kid and probably knew exactly how much money was there. He probably knew I took one but let me get away with it because he figured I needed it. That made me feel much worse. 15 years later, I'm hanging around with him on the holidays. I see that he left his wallet on the counter, and he's upstairs. I sneak into his wallet, see there's a few 20s, and I slide an extra one in there. Got him. We have found a winner. Subscribe for more social media winners. Okay, bye bye.